Welcome to the wilderness, casual player. Today you will be challenged to sneak past the hunter, evade his bullets, move through the tall grass, jump the bridge, escape the shots again, go through the swamp, avoid him again, tend to his crops, bake him bread, prepare him a meal, and serve it straight in the face. That is, unless you just... Hey there, name's Spiff, and what you just saw is the first of the craziest skips we use in the Little Nightmares 2 speedrun. You see, when you reload from menu after going through the dog door, this poop donut sends you absolutely sky high if you step on it. We figured out that if you use this height to go right for roughly 5 seconds, you land on the beach and skip the rest of the wilderness altogether, dubbed the Hunter Skip. But we love pain, so the community discovered a version 10 times harder that not only skips to the beach, but gets you to the other side as well, shaving off another minute. This one being called the ball skip. That's because it involves flinging yourself way further right, a little forward, and landing at or just after this bottle floating in the water. That small area contains the checkpoint for the other side of the water, but you have to pause perfectly and reload before you die in the landing in order to get the checkpoint. What's better is that for some reason the water contains pretty much every checkpoint between meeting the hunter and the beach, meaning a miss can just end the run even if you're okay with not getting it first try. The launch position is very precise, so doing it without the keyboard is unreasonable, limiting it to mostly PC runners even before you start thinking about FPS. It's how we finished the wilderness in 8 minutes. Despite the game receiving an update that patched a few of the skips I will be showcasing, this one remains in the most updated version. Moving on to the library, here's how it's done casually. Drag the massive ladder slowly with your tiny body and climb up. Then juke Miss Deep Throat and climb through the opening to safety. We hate dragging things, so we don't. This is the closest we come to going out of bounds in the run, and the devs decided that bookcase parkour is acceptable because this is still in the run as well. You can get the jump out of the vent like I do here, but it's a lot harder and we probably only get it about a third of the time. If you don't, you just have to jump around and make your way up just the same. Past this, it's just a quick angled jump across the book stacks, reload, checkpoint, and sneak behind the teacher. Where are we now? Could it be? I only heard of it in legend. Is the skip real? Yes, it is. This is it. The butt skip. The doctor from chapter 3 is very manipulatable, so we can simply bait him into lifting the table, grab the fuse, and stand in a position where his AI just can't grab us. Once in position, wait for the butt. The hype is real. There's a TTV emote about it, and there isn't much better than a juicy PB, but a good, clean butt skid is up there. The legend says many people only watch Little Nightmares 2 speedruns for the butt. The skip saves you from having to sneak to the back room, kill the doctor's child, and then grab the fuse while he's grieving, before burning him alive in an oven. Who's the real bad guy? This next skip doesn't actually save in-game time, as we recently learned, but is really cool to pull off anyway. If you start the train chase by landing on the window frame and jumping straight towards the camera, you won't trigger the thin man to come after you. He will still come after you once you reach a certain point, but the slowdown and epic music isn't present. It turns what is normally a tense chase into a casual walk through a train. Originally, we assumed that this skip saved about 15 seconds because you avoid running slowly, but it turns out the in-game time slows down as well with you, so you don't end up actually losing time. Earlier I mentioned that the game was patched and they murdered some of our skips. This is one of them, so get your hand on your F key for the introduction of the morgue drop, only accessible in 1.0.0. This baby let us drop right out of the sky and give the doctor a love tap on the way down as he passes, and grants us early access to the morgue room. We go call 6, and while she takes her sweet ass time, we complete the puzzle within the room, getting back with the key by the time she pulls the drawer. This is the greatest example of our route being determined by how we can make the slow stuff 6 does go faster. When you first encounter the teacher in the classroom, it is a smothering experience. She's very perceptive and she'll loose her evil children on you if you're caught. It's designed to make you feel small. You hide from Miss Deep Throat and then have to again navigate through her classroom without being caught to go open the elevator. Speedrunners are about freedom, which is why we learned to do it the Mega Chad way, by challenging her in her own home, and crushing the hopes and dreams of her demon children under the painful embrace of knowledge, then baiting her imbecile fourth child behind the knowledge bookcase. Maybe teach not being an idiot in your next lesson, Miss Deep Throat. We may have lost this skip to the mighty patch notes as well, but found a similar way to recreate it, so nothing much has changed. Sorry, developers. There exists a raid boss among skips and Little Nightmares. Allow me to introduce the cafeteria. Where normally you'd murk a couple kids, use their noggin and traverse the sea of losers and relative safety, some cruel people found a way to sprint through it all. Honestly, try this. If you are able to, sit down and try to do this skip. Feel my pain. I've spent hours in here, and there's about 100 things that can go wrong. Not to mention that even if you've seen this before, you probably haven't seen how it is now. This is for keyboard. First, line yourself up against the foreground and sprint right, jumping just as you begin to fall off the trolley. Upon landing, let Mono start the sprinting animation and jump once. Once you're in the last square of the floor, turn back left and jump as soon as you have left momentum. The kid will lunge at you, but you gotta bounce off his noggin right and preferably land on the bar. You need to land there because this kid is able to grab you if you go over too soon. Wait for him to start the jump animation and take off. The kids shouldn't be able to grab you past this point, but they will surround you and soft lock you. Once you're on the table, you're safe. Now for the hard part. Run into the next room, but turn around immediately because 2 kids will see you and chase after you. Cutting straight down so to not despawn the kids, jump on the bucket. This corner is soft lock city, so you'll have to make sure you've landed in the right spot. Once they run over and start the jumping animation, run past them and through the door. Jump twice and line yourself up with the image that Simone so graciously drew for us. Jump as indicated and pray that you get the boost off the kid's noggin, but it isn't over yet. The kids can still catch you unless you get through the door as soon as possible. I would advise holding A and W for a while in the air so you don't go too far into the corner and can immediately make your way through. I've spent more time in here than most people spend on the game as a whole. The most universally feared part of Little Nightmares 2 is the mannequins. You gotta acquire 2 fuses by going down 2 paths. One contains a hand you gotta beat down, and the other contains the cursed beings themselves. Enter the easiest skip in the game that skips all of that bullshit. This skip can be done casually at any skill level because all you do is walk around. There is an eyeball indicator when you hit a checkpoint in Little Nightmares. When you escape the TV in the hospital, wait for the little eyeball to appear, then Alta for the game and reopen it. Resume game and go get the key. Then when you hit this checkpoint, go all the way to the left and come back, hitting the checkpoint again. Immediately reload to main menu and resume. You'll have one of the 2 fuses with you. Carry it through the key door and use it to break the glass, then throw it away. You'll go into the next room and grab the second fuse to bring back with you, and you have to make sure you bring back the new fuse and leave the old one behind. Now, when you arrive back at that checkpoint, reload to checkpoint and you'll have both fuses, allowing you to activate the elevator and move on. Seeing as this accidentally happened to some players casually, it was removed with the patch notes, the only skip fix I understand. But if you truly hate the mannequins, downpatching is an option, especially on PC. If you want to know how to downpatch, let me know in the comments.
Orton pumps again to the sideline. Batted up. Oh, God! Stokely down the sideline. Can they catch him? Touchdown!
This skip reminds me how much I love Little Nightmares 2 speedrunning. It's set up so perfectly to do clean jumps and make it to the TV early, but yet is still almost completely inaccessible to a casual player who might notice the setup. They're tough jumps. Normally you gotta pull the cart down and use it to maneuver your way over the TV, over the electrified water. Mono, as it turns out, does not have many friends. He's gotta kill the hunter, escape the teacher, burn the doctor, kill the thin man, and 6-2 lets him down in the end. But as I play this game over and over, trying to finish as quickly as I can, there is one individual who remains my ally through it all. This bowl, right here. Big Six is rampaging, and through some unearthly blessing, I can save it through the table without alerting Six, keeping it safe. It never lets me down, and I too repay the favor. This isn't a skip, but it is just as important as the 9 I've shown before it. Without companionship, we are nothing. Mark my words, if I ever let the bowl perish on a run, I will jump into the void and begin anew. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to subscribe. I post every Friday. You can find me streaming on Twitch. Toodaloo until next time, folks.